Louisiana lawmaker that, from what I read in the article, he is the head of the education committee.
Cool.
He is arguing that schools should teach the good part of slavery. And you know what? You two are not allowed to talk about this topic at all. It's all going to be me. But
he is right.
Slavery gets shit done.
It built this country.
Yep.
See, if they were to talk about it, like, if they were to frame the good part of, like, black people, actually, the good part was black Americans built this country and, like, gave credit, then yeah, sure. But you know that's not what they're trying to do.
No.
They're trying to be like, no, we saved, like, from Africa and living savage lives and all that shit. We brought culture into their lives and shit.
Yeah, no, never mind that we separated families. A lot of us died on the way over there, but we'll leave that out.
Lost your history.
Yeah, exactly.
Back.
Set us generations back from everybody else because they weren't allowed to read or do anything. But there's good parts of it too. Like,
I mean, we have white in our genes now. Come on, guys.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I do. I found out I was 40% white. You know that was some slave master shit. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
We don't have no white doing this. It's over.
But I'm mostly black. I'm mostly black.
Let's take a group shower.
Come on, look at me.
Yeah, look at me. Let's get that cocoa and shea butter. That's what I showered with. It fucking smells really good.
Come on, man. Like, slavery produced, like, Halle Berrys and stuff because the slave masters would just take advantage of the slaves. That's the good part of it? Is that what they're talking about?
Maybe how strong y'all are and, like, genetically superior to everyone else.
They did basically make us into super soldiers when you think about it. We got free CrossFit for hundreds of years, so...
Man. Free CrossFit.
I know, I just like...
Man, black people really did start everything.
God, I'm going to hell for this podcast.
We've been
I hope
there.
people don't think I'm serious.
You can join us in our section.
That's a shirt. That free CrossFit shit is funny.
Yeah, listen. You know, going in the folder.
Doing lunges, picking cotton and shit.
Oh, God. That is... Just, was anyone fooled by what this guy was trying to do, honestly?
No.
What state you say that was?
Louisiana.
It doesn't surprise me. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, anybody in that area. Whew.
If they were to do something like that, like, I'm with Mark, then show every bit of the history of slavery. But then also, it's like, you have to change the whole curriculum of American history because, like, a lot of the shit that Americans did or they're very proud of was, like, secondhand, either, like, stealing, you came through the back door, or, like, a lot of wars that we think were so grand and everything like that. It's like, nah, fam, like, we won this in the shittiest, like... non-honorable way. We like all this shit. Every bit of land we got, we stole from somebody else, and it's like, tell that side if you're gonna really go to those levels. You know? But they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, if this was the beginning of getting rid of the whitewashing of history, all for it. But
we know it's not. It's only gonna be glorifying white people more.
Did you hear about that? I forget what state it was. I think it was Florida. I forget if it was middle school or high school. Forget if it was middle school or high school, but the teacher wanted to show like how bad auctioning black people was like during slave times. So he got all the black students in class and they auctioned off the kids. Shit.
That's pretty ballsy. He still has a job?
No, he doesn't have a job. No. Right. Maybe it was like a Deep South thing, but no.
Who has these ideas, man? Imagine the lesson plan the night before. I'm going to reach these kids.
Yeah. Jamal, you're going up there. Jabari.
Yeah, dude.
Do you guys see Tyreek? Look at his quads.
Michaela, you're only half. You stay back. You're probably a house Negro. You wouldn't get off the top. You get bought outright.
Right. See, the thing horrible. Is, what do you think it would have been better if he was just like, throw every kid? If he didn't just single out the black kids, you think it would have been different?
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it, right? There's no way.
It's such a bad idea. I get thinking outside the box, but come on, man. We got to have some filters for shit. Can't auction off all the niggas in class, man.
For some reason, Megan keeps buying Jamal. I don't know what's going on here. She's paying top dollar.
Very weird look on her face when she does
that. Greasy. I can't wait.
She walks to class every week. We doing auctions?
With a walker because she's all torn up. The last couple of
oh, it's hot like the Dickens. Emphasis on dick.
all that are covering up. They're covering their junk up.
I have to borrow my grandma's walker. We keep having these auctions. Breaking me up.
Fucking freaky ass middle schoolers.
EDP, where you at, dog?
Oh man, but there was that. I saw a teacher, like, this clip when little viral was just like, he was trying to say that the N-word was just, it meant like ignorant or stupid. It didn't mean what it, like, what everyone knows what it meant during slave times. Yeah, they're really trying to.
Does he know that N-word comes from Nigeria?
I didn't know that. What is that?
It's Nigeria nigger. It's spelled almost the same. Yeah. So it doesn't come from ignorant. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
People, they're really just trying to, like, whitewash history.
That was the one thing I argued with the one person who listened to the podcast, that fan who was like, I've learned that our teacher said that the N-word wasn't a bad thing and it meant this. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, you're totally wrong on this. Yeah. And that dude should be fired. Why are you listening?
Come on, can I say it like when I'm singing along to music and shit? No.
Said he's...
Why can't I? Why? Why do you want to say it so bad? That's why I don't understand why people
Look at a
get
history book, that's why.
so frustrated that they can't say that word. Like, why is it such a big deal? Just don't say it, bro.
There's a thing, I think we've talked about this before. It's just, you if you're not black and you say it, you're doing it at your own risk.
Yeah.
You got to be confident with it, because I feel like black people could tell when you're saying it and it's just a word to you, but then you're saying it's just like there's a little bit of like that racism in there.
Yeah.
And I've seen white people do it all the time. Like they'll say it when no black people are around. I've seen this for Latins too, so I'm calling you guys out too. When there's
especially
no black
now,
people,
a lot of Latinos use nigger all the time.
But they only do it when there's no black people around, and when there is, they shut up. They're quiet. They don't talk that. They don't talk. They start talking differently or shit like that. It's so fucking annoying. Because like I know what you guys mean. Like don't do it around me thinking it's cool, thinking it's whatever, all that shit. I'm just like, I'm not with you. Like,
and I hate how people like nowadays try to lump that word in with like other words we shouldn't say, like the word that rhymes with maggot before gay person, or they say midget is a bad word, and it's like calling a black person a nigger. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
There weren't any midget slaves out there picking cotton because nothing would have gotten done.
They would have weeded out.
Sorry, boss, I only got 2 bushels today. All right.
Strong winds just blow all.
We lost another one. God damn it.
He blew away my cotton.
Knew I should have purchased midget. Knew I should have purchased midgets. Midgets where there's tornadoes. God damn it.
It was half price, but it's not worth the money. Yeah.
Thought it was a deal.
Just attach weights to them so they fly away. Make them hold hands. Only pick with your offhand, boy. Make sure the other one's holding on to somebody. Can't lose any more this week. We got shit to do.
Oh man, how's gonna be nice?
Yeah, very comfy. I can only imagine like the kids who end up going back to school, especially after this pandemic. But like even the younger kids, because these teachers are they're gonna come from this era of like the wokeness, and they're gonna try shit like this all the time.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be so hard to look at it and be like, all right, man, like why are you?
Yeah.
You can't relate to this. Just teach the book and move on.
Teach what you're allowed
it's in its own category. Leave it at that. It's not the same.
Yeah.
They're all horrible, but don't compare woes. There's no comparison.
No. Hopefully, throughout this whole pandemic thing, people had to do like homeschooling shit, and people like they finally start going like, "Oh, this is the real history. This is what like the history where like you have to search out the ones that you don't find until you're in college, and shit like that." Hopefully, they go back to school and when they start trying to like gloss over this shit, the kids are less raising their hand like, "No. What about all this crap that you're skipping over?" So
I got a beef. Now we're talking about all this school shit. Going back to like all of us being in school, did you guys ever remember like any other holidays besides Black History Month, which is always usually like very ran over, is very like passe, gave a fuck, but like
everybody, Martin Luther King Jr., Black History Month's over.
like every Black day, holiday, whatever, it was never properly like given its time. But I remember we did sections on like Latin America, and motherfuckers got to bring flags and sombreros and shit. We had to sit there. We did courses on fucking like China and all that shit. Same shit. And I was like, every time Black people came, I was like,
yeah, I went to high school in the South, and during Black History Month, they would read a 1-minute snippet of like a famous Black person in history, and that was it for Black History Month. They'd be like, Booker T. Washington, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's it for Black History Month. Anyway.
They look directly like, are you happy now?
Yeah. Yeah, Harriet Tubman had a railroad. She built it like B&O and Monopoly, and that was it. Okay, anyway. Reading Railroad. We're done. Okay. Anyway, back to the racist shit we were teaching before.
Like it's just crazy to think about because even in the workspace when I was at work in the office, every time because I'm thinking about it because Cinco de Mayo is coming up, fucking the whole office would be littered in this shit, and I'd be like, look, I don't have an issue with it, but Black History Month we didn't have shit up here.
Yeah.
Nothing. Every time Christmas comes, they'll because I'm in the office of Koreans and Hispanics, and there's also Black people there, but they have shit for Korean holidays. For Hispanic holidays, but none of them
usually Jewish too.
Yeah,
the
Jewish
offices
too.
I worked at too. They have the dreidels and all that stuff.
I'm like, fam, and y'all don't see this as an issue. And I brought it up to other people, and they're like, well, do you want those people who you wouldn't being a part of your race? You want them actually controlling what goes up? And I'm like, no, but it's the conversation at least. At least give the option.
Yeah.
There's no option to it. It's just oh, Black History Month. All right.
Those people don't even see anything wrong with it not being there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
And that's where the conversation is for them.
And they're the same people that get triggered when the NBA and the WNBA celebrate Black History Month, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sick of this stuff. I just want to watch these Negroes dunk.
Watch them be black. I don't want to watch them though.
Shut up and dribble."
I've heard a white guy actually say, if the NBA wasn't invented, all black would just be gang members. And I was like, wow. I actually said it out loud because I was working and I couldn't really, because I needed the job.
Right.
But I was like, wow. And I just walked away because I was just like, this isn't going to end well for me. So, yeah, he said that shit. I was just like, wow, that's.
I don't know about y'all. I haven't seen very many 6'6" gang members walking around.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh. That is ridiculously racist. Where was this?
I was working at the drive-thru liquor store, my first job that I had. And I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, Cerritos.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Kudos to you for not punching that guy in the neck.
He was an old-ass dude, too. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? It's like, every time dude came out, I was like, you handle him. Because we always had a partner. It's like, you can get him. Because I'm not like this.
I mean, it's wrong, but he is.
They still rap.
I mean, Kevin Durant played football. I don't know. But Kevin Durant banged the set. It makes sense.
Yeah, Demetrius looked like he can handle it. AK like he handles the basketball.
Yeah, I've seen Boogie Cousins. Yeah. Can you do a regular job?
His name is Boogie for crying out loud. He'll fit right in.
But, speaking of gang members becoming something successful, Blueface.
Yes.
Blueface
is
under fire right now for, apparently, a lot of women are starting to say that he should have something along the lines of surviving R. Kelly when it comes to his actions currently. He filmed himself a video of him walking through his house, and there was bunk beds, and there was women in the bunk beds, and there was a part of the video where he was waking up a young lady, and he was like, "Hey, tattoo or get out." And it seems like he was joking, but
tattoo of his name.
Right, tattoo of his name or get out. Seems like he was joking, but of course we do not know if this is real, if this was a joke or not. And then the next part of the video, you see a girl getting tatted, and you can see it's his symbol, it's his name, and everything. And I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on should Blueface be considered R. Kelly now for, I guess.
No.
Are they against their will?
No.
Are they of age?
Yes.
No.
No.
I mean, everybody has their weird lane now. Like, this is the world we live in. Like, the relationship dynamics, even your generation was different from mine. We're not that far apart age-wise, but, like, the relationship dynamic for, like, teenagers now is so much different. Right. And if somebody's willingly participating, I mean, everything's open now. Like, there's a lot of different things that we didn't grow up with that are socially acceptable now. And if they're of age, they're not against their will, then it is what it is. I mean,
they have to live with it. It's not like it's affecting this generation of or group of people. It's just like, no, it's just that individual is living with the choice that they made.
Yeah.
And again, of age and willing consent.
Yeah. Then
where's the R. Kelly part of it?
It's definitely weird. Like, I definitely wouldn't participate in anything like it, but if both participants are willing to do it, then
it's like, I wouldn't do it if a group of women was just like, we want to tattoo your name on our face. I'd be like, okay, all right, go for it. It's not gonna make me like you any better, but good luck with the rest of your life.
Property of Mark.
Okay. It's official, it's legal.
A lot of the people online who were like leading the charge on this were saying that it has very what's the word I'm looking for? It mimics like what sex traffickers do currently. It's like they brand their victims and like they'll put like either like some kind of name or logo on them. And I was just like, that's a reach.
Yeah. Also, they're being forced again. It's forced.
I mean, I grew up in Crenshaw. Girls got guys' names tatted on them all the time. That just is kind of, that's been a cultural thing for a while now. I mean, I'm sure you saw it too. Like,
so that's why I'm looking at this like, one, I don't like the whole aesthetic of, because this dude is living like this, he's now R. Kelly. Because once again, I feel like this is only coming up because it's a black man.
Yeah.
And it's like another way to, hey, let's draw attention to some bullshit that's not really anything. But I just thought about it, like, Kim Kardashian is newly divorced, right? If she tomorrow was announced that she's sleeping with 4 dudes and they're living in her house, would there be an issue?
No.
I mean, what else can you talk shit about Kim that hasn't been said already?
But would there even be would it even be a blip?
No.
They've been celebrating her like, oh yeah, run that shit. Guys have been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Now a woman is a boss bitch and she got 4 dudes waiting on her hand and feet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they gonna get tatted up. They be celebrating her. Come on.
For those dudes, they're making bank or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was my exact thought when I saw this. I was like, if this was flipped, everyone would be like, oh, you go girl, like you doing you.
They be high-fiving her.
And I'm like, they're not being forced. They are willingly going there. I don't know if they're being paid or not. I don't know. Like, but I mean, he does have money, so I'm assuming they're there for that reason as well.
Yeah.
Right. So they have a roof over their head. I don't see like.
And they obviously fuck with Blueface.
Yeah,
other would agree to do it. So
this is your rent to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't see like the big deal about it, but I just hate that we go to these extremes now, where it's like, this person's doing something that isn't quote unquote normal or whatever. Oh, he's now a rapist, a pedophile, he's a pimp, and everything like that.
Let's be real. Hugh Hefner had 4 women that were living with him. I don't know if they got tatted with his name, but they got the Playboy Bunny tattoo.
Had to marry him.
Isn't it kind of the same thing? Like, I don't really see the difference. And yeah, they weren't living in bunk beds. They probably had nicer accommodations, but that's on you. You got to top them off a little bit better, girl. And you want that Posturepedic, boy, you better swallow.
And ever since Hugh Hefner died, now there's been like countless accounts by different women who talked about being mistreated at the Playboy Mansion, and no one brings it up.
Yeah.
Like, you have to search for this shit.
Yeah.
And again, it's like white guy doing it. It's like, oh, it's entertainment. It's fun.
Charming.
Yeah. Black guy. Oh, this guy. He's just going.
Hugh Hefner was a fossil at the time too. Like, let's not skip over the fact that he's like 60 years older than them.
Yeah.
At least Blueface is in his 20s. Like.
And the thing about it that's also like weird. I was like, all last year during the pandemic, Blueface was on Instagram and everything, showing his house every day. There was naked women everywhere. Like, during a full-fledged pandemic, and nobody cared. Yeah. No one gave a fuck. Everyone was just like, damn, Blueface going up, everything. And I'm like, now that, like, it's just like random, like, you know what, I don't like this today. Let's talk about this. Let's make this a headline. I was like, he's been doing this. Like, why is today the day that this is, like, fucked up and wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I
know there's stories around.
Yeah. I was like, man, let him be him.
And let them do them. If they're into Blueface, obviously something's wrong with them anyway. Let them live.
I've seen the guy, yeah. Something wrong with him.
His music, I don't get it, but I mean, they obviously like it, so let them live.
Yeah.
Just imagine the things that were back in the day, like they were today. I mean, legend has it from like way back in the 90s, the fucking Eazy-E When Wild parties were ridiculous. Like, it was filth.
Yeah.
And they're still talked about today as like, this was legendary shit. Like, you had to be there.
Pure smut.
Like, fucking Freaknik is still a thing, by the way.
I was there for Freaknik. I can tell you, it was wild.
Filth.
I'll never forget going to the mall, and I'll let you go back to what you were saying, but during Freaknik, there was a lady with overalls on, with nothing else on, just overalls. Boobs were out, everything was out, just some overalls. It was wild, man. In the middle of the freeway having sex, like...
He's like, and I miss it every day.
I beat off to it every day, and I wish I did.
Oh, the good old days. Back in my day.
We had women in overalls and only overalls.
People were on top of Ford Explorers having sex. In the middle of the freeway during Freaknik. That's how we roll, brother.
That's awesome.
Outcast blaring. Little babies getting made.
But like, we Mardi Gras, we celebrate that and everything. And it's like, he's been living this way for a while, so it shouldn't be like this whole big thing about, oh, I'm waiting for when these women come out and show that they were forced to live there. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
So as an adult, I can force you to do something as an adult.
And where's the R. Kelly comparison? The girl was like 13. R. Kelly had groomed her. The girl was the niece of somebody that R. Kelly put on his label.
Right.
So he was obviously grooming her the whole time. Like,
that's what they were saying, by him letting them stay there and by him forcing them to put the tattoos on them, or they're saying force, but giving them the option for the tattoo, that this is a form of grooming, and he's making them self-dependent on or codependent on him and all these things. And I was just like, this is a reach. Like, this is...
Because the same could be said of, like, getting married and then your wife doesn't have a job or something. Like, isn't that some sort of dependence on you?
No. See, that's called a bitch with good pussy. That's how it's gonna be flipped. Yeah. You see what I mean? Like, there was a video today actually where this lady was like, "Get you a man that does like all 5," and like she was praying. The dude was behind her helping her pray. She was like,
help her pray.
Yeah, I didn't get it. But she was like, be there for you emotionally.
Asking for a 75-inch TV.
Let you be there for you emotionally. He was wiping her tears. Then it was like protect you, and then he was like standing in front, looking all menacing. And then it was like help you financially. And what she chose was she was on the stairs like in a mink coat, and he was just giving her like a wad of money. And I was like, and of course everyone was just applauding this, and I was like, this is wrong. Like, this is Blueface.
Yeah.
Is no one kidding?
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's
pick and choose. It's every group wants to pick and choose what they want.
Yeah. Like, and they celebrate the weirdest things and then don't see anything wrong with other things that are way worse.
Yeah.
It's like a pick and choose from your soapbox. I don't know. It's a very strange world we live in.
Yeah, but see, they big these stories up. They make it like front page news, talking shit about Blueface and shit like that. But then stories like Young Thug and, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Gunna?
Yes, Gunna.
I always say these names wrong, like rap. Young Thug and Gunna pay bails for 30 non-violent criminals. But that story just gets washed under. Like, this dude did something great, like help 30 people that could now have time to like maybe work up a defense and don't have to be stuck in jail. And because it's hard once you're in jail, like there's no help.
No.
So you're just stuck in there and shit like that, unless you have a very good support system outside of that shit.
Right.
And even then, it's super hard.
Yeah, because you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Exactly. And the cops do not tell you the truth of all this shit. So, yeah, these stories like that, because again, people see Young Thug as like this, I don't know, like a weirdo, like a whatever.
Like,
and
for people who know, Young Thug is exactly his name. He's a thug. He's been a thug. He's from a hood, and they don't want to let that image out there. Yeah. Someone who made it out and is doing shit like this,
helping the community, which is what they all say that these people should do.
Right? Yeah.
And when they do it, it's just like, no.
Yeah, sweep under the rug. Who cares? Boring. Yeah. Like, got anybody getting stabbed? Got anybody getting killed?
Right.